Hello everyone, it's Pradip Pathak this side and you're watching my YouTube channel pyGuru. Friends, in the previous tutorial of this series, we learned how can we make our background scroll and how to add this player. Okay, now we can move our player towards either left or right. The next thing that we are going to add to our game is the enemy. See, just like player, our enemy is also an plane. Okay, it's only that there will be multiple planes for in case of our enemy, and the rest of the behavior of our enemy and player will be same. See, our player can move, our enemy can move too. Instead, however, our enemy will move from top towards the down, and if they collide with the player, the game will get over. Okay, and the player will get destroyed. Secondly, our player can shoot bullets, our enemy can shoot bullets too. And if they collide, then either the player's health will lose or the enemy health will lose, letting them to die in the end. Okay. So these are the basic concept of our player and enemy. So let's now try implementing our enemy. So in order to implement your enemy, what you have to do, you have to just go to the assets folder and you have to paste this enemy folder, choppers, and the enemy folder inside this our assets folder. Okay, again you can just get these resources from the link given in the video description. Okay, all these files are available there. Just download it and paste these two folders, that is the choppers folder and enemy folders, inside your assets folder. Okay, now we can make our enemy here. Okay, see, first of all, the thing that I want to say is our player and enemy are again same. Okay, whatever our player can do, our enemy can do the same. So basically they have the same functionality and features, so there will be a same type of class which can represent our enemy. So what you have to do, just copy this class, okay, our player class, and paste it here. Okay, we will just change it a little to make it suitable for our enemy. So our class name will be enemy this time, and instead it will take instead of 2 arguments, it will take 3 arguments. Okay, now here the first argument is the x and y position, and then the type. See, for enemy I have 5 kinds of enemies. If I just go to the assets, there are 2 types of choppers. This is chopper 1 and this is chopper 2, and there are these 3 enemy planes: enemy 1, enemy 2, and enemy 3. Okay, so there are in total 5 planes, you can say, which will act as our enemy. So what we have to do, we have to first load these images and make the enemy based on the number that will pass. Suppose if I pass 1, I will want to load this image. If I pass type equals 2, I want to load this image. If I pass type equals 3, I want to load this image. In case of choppers, if I pass 4, I will load this image, and if I pass 5, I will load this image. Okay, so this is what you have to do. So we will just come here, and first of all we will make a copy of our type. So self.type equals type. Okay, this is the first thing that we have did. We just copied and made copy of this type to our class. Okay, the next thing is we created this image list. That's it. Again for I in range 2, and here we have to do few checks first. If type equals 1, okay, what I want to do is I want to load the image, but the image will be loading will be a little different. img equals pygame.image.load, and then our assets are inside the assets folder. Let's just remove this thing here. Inside the assets, our enemies are inside the enemies folder, so I'll pass enemies here, and then I'll pass enemy 1. Okay, dash I plus 1. What does it mean? See, how my enemies are named as, inside the enemies folder I have 3 kinds of enemy: enemy 1-1, enemy 2-1, enemy 3-1. So that's what I have written here. Just it. Okay, enemy 1-1, when I will be 0, this I will be 0, we have added 1, so it will automatically become 1. Okay, and the next time it will become 2 for the second frame. That's it. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is let's just copy this line and paste it 2 times. Control V and Control V here. Okay, in case of 2, we want to make it 2, enemy 2. Okay, in case of 3, we want to make it 3. That's it. Now let's just copy paste it 2 more times. These are enemy class, these are for enemies, and the next will be for choppers. Okay, If it's 4, we will make it chopper. Okay, so how you have to load this one is inside the assets folder. Our choppers are inside the choppers folder. So, okay, so we have to remove these lines. Choppers, make it choppers here. uh, yes, it looks good now. And here you have to type chopper 1. Okay, chopper 1 again. Let me just copy paste it and paste it here, and this time it will be chopper 2. That's it. For the type 5, we have this thing. Once again, what I did here is, if type equals 1, we are loading this particular image, that is enemy 1-1 and enemy 1-2. Okay. For if type equals 2, we will load enemy 2-1 and 2-2. If type equals 3, we will load enemy 3-1 and 3-2, like this. Okay. This is it. Then the next thing that we want to do is we want to scale it. Now see, my every plane image has different sizes. For example, this is 224 by 188. This is 305 multiplied by 205, and this is 247 multiplied by 196. So I want to scale them without losing their animation. Okay, we do not want to disturb their animation. So what, the way I will load it is, first of all, I will get its original width and height. So we can get the image width and height is like this: img.get width and img.get height. Okay, using this method we can get the width and height of our player. Image. Okay, so we have loaded it. The next thing that we are going to do is, here it will be get height. After doing this, the next thing that we want to do is we want to calculate new height. See, what I want to do is, initially let's say our my image is 247 multiplied by 196. So 247 is the width and 196 is the height. So I want to resize it, but I want to make the width 100 pixels only, and I want to resize height automatically based upon my width. So the way you can do it is 100 multiplied by h, where 100 is my new height and divided by original width. Okay, so here w is original width, h is original height, 100 is my new width, and this formula will give me the new height. Okay, and then what all I have to do is, here I have to pass is 100 comma height, and that's it. Yes, it looks good now. And then we will just load it to our self.image list. This is the same thing that we did for our player. Okay, then it will be also same: self.index equals 0, self.image list will also be 0, and self.rect will be also be the same thing. Okay, no change here. And then the next thing that we want to do is we will set the counter and speed here. We do not need it this time. Cell.width. So let's just remove this thing. Okay, and let's come to the update function here. For the cell.counter plus 1 and cell.counter is 0. This is so it will remain the same. This line, these lines will remain the same, and it handles the animation frames. The only thing that we are going to change here is this value. See, our planes will run at different animations for each thing. Let's say my chopper's blade sometime for, let's say this chopper blade will move fast and this chopper's blade will move slow. So we want to give every plane a different animation. What we can do is we can make a dictionary here, self.frame ticked, and it will store the frame rate for animation for every plane in our game. So for the if type equals 1, we will make our frame updated 3. Okay, for 2 it will be also 3, for 3 it will be also 3, for 4 it will be 5, and for 5 it will be 4. Okay, so what does it mean? If type equals 5, it means if it's our this particular chopper, our frame the speed at this animation will occur as 4 frames per second. Okay, when 4 frames have been passed, we will update the next animation. Okay, that's it. Don't worry if you do not understand it. We are just replacing this value from 2 to one of these values, 3, 3, 3 or 5 or 4. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is we will create a new variable frame FPS, and here we will first type the dictionary name frame dict, and here we will pass type. Basically we are just accessing values based upon the type value of type variable. That's it. And here all we have to do is self dot frame FPS. That's it. Again the draw function will remain same, and only thing that we have to do is we have to change this line. We do not need this. Let's just type it like this. Okay. See how our enemy plane will move. It will start from the top of our game, and it will start moving down. Okay, so let's just do this. We will do this self dot rect dot y. We know that in order to make our plane move, we have to change the position of our rect, and this time we will changing the y position of our rect. For the player, we were changing the x position since our player was moving in the left or right direction. Okay, but in our enemy case, our enemy will only move towards down, so only that thing that we have to do is we have to add some values to our enemy class. Okay, enemy position. That's it. So let's try this. To use this enemy, you have to just go here, and here you have to import the enemy, and let's create an enemy here equals enemy, and we have to pass x and y. So let's say I want to pass x as 144. I want to pass y as, let's say, 50 or 80, let's say. And what was the next thing? Let's say I want to create my first enemy, so I will pass 1 here. Okay. The next thing that you have to do is you have to just come here, and you have to call e dot update function first. So sorry, update, and e dot draw. Here you have to pass when. Okay. Let's just run this. So we are getting some error. Moving left or moving right. Okay. It's something here. We do not want moving left or moving right. Let's just remove this lines. Okay. We do not want this in case of our enemy. So this was only moving left and moving right was only needed for player, since we need to know where the player was moving. Okay. But in case of enemy, this thing is not needed. So yes, now let's try again running it, and let's see what happens. If everything goes fine, we will get our enemy displayed. See, our enemy is moving here. Okay, it looks good here. So yes, it's working now. Now, if you want to, let's say, if you want to display the chopper, you have to pass 4 or 5 here. You can pass either 4 or 5, or you can also pass 2, 3 for any type of enemy that you want to display on your screen. Now here we have some error. So let's see what is the error here. It's a spelling mistake. Here it will be chopper double P, and here it will be double P2. Okay, that's it. Now let's try running it once again, and we should get our chopper displayed here. See, our chopper is working fine. Okay, now see, this is the blades running, moving here. Since my FPS is low at 24, that's why it's appearing to move a little slowly, but for you it will work faster. Okay, if you are playing running this game at 30 FPS or 60 FPS. The next thing that I want to do is, see, currently we are only able to handle one enemy. Now suppose you want to show multiple enemies. In that case, what we are going to do is, the one way is to store these enemies in a list, and the next and another way is inbuilt function provided by pygame, that is sprite groups. Okay. See, these images that we have used in our game, these are known as sprites in game development. Okay, these 2D images are usually known as sprites. So to handle multiple sprites, pygame provides a handy method that is known as sprite groups. We can use them to update our function, update our sprites. So in order to use this, all you have to do is you just have to go here, and here you have to type pygame.sprite. Okay. And here it will be capital S. Remember, it will be capital S. Sorry. Yes, it will be a capital S. The next thing that you have to do is, here you have to type super enemy, first the class name, and then you have to type self, and then you have to type init. Okay, remember this line. Now you will be able to use this pygame.sprite class. Okay. Now, when you inherit from this class, you will automatically get some new features to your class. Okay. One such feature is, suppose I want to destroy my plane when my plane reaches the bottom of my game window. Okay, when it gets out of my game window, we do not want it, so we can just destroy it. So what we can do here is we can write a if condition here, that is if self dot rect dot top. Again, this top is a statement which means the top post, the top line, or you can say the y value of our player gets greater than window height. It means our enemy has passed the window. What we can do, we can just call self dot kill. Okay. Now it will destroy our enemy whenever our enemy reaches the bottom of our window. Again, here instead of making single enemy, what I'm going to do is I will do write it like this: enemy group equals pygame dot sprite dot group. Okay, again this acts like a list and you can add enemies to this particular group. Okay, the you can say one profit is that you can update all the enemies at the same time if you are using enemy groups. Okay, in pygame. So let's see how can we use enemy groups. See here, suppose I want to create enemies every 3 seconds in my game. So what we can do is we can do some additional things like I want to display or generate my enemies every 3 seconds in my game. So at every 3 seconds, a new enemy will be created in my game. So let's see how can we implement this thing to create multiple enemies in our game. First of all, I will define a variable level equals 1, which means we are currently playing level 1. Then I will define a variable player frequency, which will be set to 3000. Now 3000 means 3000 milliseconds, which is equal to 3 seconds. You can change this value as per yourself. Okay. Then I'll create a variable start time, which will it will record the start time of my game. Okay. So here I will type it like this: pygame dot time dot get ticks. Suppose if you want to find out how much time has passed while you are playing this game, you have to use this line pygame dot time dot get ticks. Initially, when it runs for the first time, it will return you 0. However, it will keep increasing as you keep playing the game. The next thing is when we will come inside here, and just above bg.update we will create a new variable current time, and it will be equal to pygame dot sprite that is it will be the same time dot get ticks. Okay, the same method. So this start time will store 0, and this current time will keep updating as we are playing the game. It will also start from 0, but it will keep updating every time. Okay. Then we will create a variable delta time, and we will find the difference of current time and start time. Again, remember, current time is just an integer and start time is just an integer too. So we can just subtract them. Here we will write if delta time is greater than equal to plane frequency. It means if 303 seconds or 3000 milliseconds have been passed, we can generate a new enemy. So we can just generate a new enemy. Now, instead of manually giving x as 144, I want to create it anywhere in width. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to import a library here that is a random library. So let's import it. Import random. Okay, I want to generate my enemy x position randomly here. So here you have to type random dot randint. I hope you already are familiar with the random module. Here my first value will be 10, and the second value will be width minus 100. Why minus 100? Because we know that our enemy width is 100. So if we pass anything more than that, if we get any value of x more than that, our enemy will get outside our window width. Okay, we do not want that. We want to contain the enemy inside our window. That's it. The next thing is, let's create the enemy just like this. Here you have to pass the x like this. I want my y position to be minus 150 because I do not want my initial initially it will just appear from nowhere inside my game. So it will start from above and then it will start moving downward. Then we will add it to our enemy group that we just created like this, and then finally we will make our start time equals current time. Now this is a this line is must, otherwise you will see multiple enemies start getting generated. Since this if condition becomes, once it becomes true, it doesn't get false. So in order to make it false, we are doing this thing: start time equals current time. Let's say if the current time is 3002, so our start time will become 3002 and current time will again start increasing, and again we will check here the difference. And if our current time is greater than 6000 this time, then this condition will become true second time. Okay, just like this. Finally, here instead of e.update and e .draw, what you can write is enemy group dot update and enemy group dot draw. That's it. Now let's try again running this. You will see here our enemy will now generated every 3 seconds. Initially nothing is drawn here. We have some error here. It will be DTH. Okay, let's try again. So you will see our new enemy will be generated every 3 seconds. So see, this is your first enemy, this is your second enemy, and when it reaches the bottom of a window, it will automatically get destroyed. Okay, so here we have some things wrong here. We have to set few things up. So let's try fixing it. The thing that I can think of is okay, let's do this. Let's just go to the here, and instead of making center equals xy, let's just do this. Self dot rect dot x equals x and self dot rect dot y equals y. That's it. Okay. Here we are currently generating only the first enemy, but if you want to pass a random enemy, you can again create type equals random dot random 1,5 and it will generate a random enemy for you. Okay, but currently we do not want that. Now let's try it again. This time our enemy should not get outside our window if everything goes fine. So yes, it looks good. See, it's creating every 3 seconds. Again it will shoot bullets, so we can increase time as per our choice. Okay, so this is it for this video, guys. If you love this video, leave a like or a dislike. If you are new to my channel, subscribe it. Thank you. See you in the next tutorial.